A friend of mine was a teacher substituting for a first grade class on a day they were going on a field trip. She had to pack up meds for half the class, like 6 year olds, half the class. Do you really think that 50% of our population is now being born with mental disorders? Of course not. And if you were one of those parents who was told by that teacher, I think your child would benefit from being assessed. They have difficulty focusing, difficulty sitting still. You know, you're having all of these emotions, but would you have those same feelings if you knew that they had that same conversation with seven other families in your class? Of course not. You would start wondering what's going on in the room, right? Like, what are the expectations? What is the curriculum? Maybe even like, what is the school cafeteria feeding them all for breakfast? Are they bouncing off the walls from sugar, right? I have another friend who's a mom whose daughter's in college, and she shares a house with a bunch of girls, and there's like eight of them there. She's the only one not on mental health medication. Okay, so this doesn't seem normal, but honestly, it's becoming a lot less totally unusual. Like, that would be totally unusual, right? Another friend of mine has a 15-year-old who was learning how to drive, and they'd been out a couple times. She came to him very seriously and said, I get anxious when I drive, and I think I need anti-anxiety medication. And, you know, we're all afraid to drive at first, right? This is a normal feeling. But what's happening are these kids are feeling like their negative emotions are disordered. And that's totally our fault. That's our fault. That's the chatter, our constant surveys. Do you feel this? Do you feel that? All these negative emotions. And, if they feel them, you start wondering as you're checking those boxes, like, God, is this dangerous? Do I have a problem? Right. The other thing is social media. It's all over social media. You can even get meds on TikTok now. There are startups out there who are selling via telehealth on TikTok. So you see this really compelling ad that you kind of relate to, and then they encourage you to take a survey, and it kind of like, do you think that survey is going to kind of convince you that you need medication? Of course, because that's their job. They're selling medication. So we're in a really dangerous place.